Want a sword? Get a mentor. Hey, it's Nina Carmichael. We made these videos is probably because you're the most ambitious person in your circle. You know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and how to set up for success no matter where you come from. Enjoy! Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Take accountability.
It may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. It's not your fault that you were born broke, but it's your responsibility to fix it. It's not your fault that you had no education, but it's your responsibility to learn it. It's not your fault that you had no connections, but it's your responsibility to make them. It may not be your fault, but it's your responsibility. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you're gonna win. So I recently posted to my YouTube community tab a quote about momentum. I think people don't have momentum, and I think the path to get momentum is to do work for free for ideal clients until you can prove your value and then they pay you. So here's what I wrote. I wrote, if you have no momentum, no traction, no clients, and start for free, prove your worth and build momentum. Give them something they can't wait to have again and pay for this time, #believe. And every time I write, there's always tons of great positive feedback. But this time, somebody wrote a kind of negative comment, and so I wanted to read it because it's highly applicable in this video. He said, Kitch, I don't know about some of your advice. Everything is my fault and work for free. To which I reply, yes, when you embrace those two, you'll start crushing your goals. It's a hard message to take on, right? Whether everything is your fault, everything is your responsibility, where you are right now, it's not about beating yourself up. It's not about saying, I suck and I can't get out. It's saying, listen, this is what happened to me. That's the past. The past doesn't have to equal to the future. Everything that I was born into and the circumstances that I grew up with, they don't have to be where I go going forward. Look at all your heroes. Look at the people who've made huge inroads, changed the world, the people that you look up to and aspire to be like. Very few of them were born super wealthy. Most of them had a worse upbringing than you did, and they could make it, so why can't you? You're just locked in your story. Too many people are locked into their story. They're not taking responsibility. You're not saying, this is my problem to get out of. I wasn't put here, right? You've been drafted into a war that you did not start. You were put here, and you have to survive, and then you have to learn to thrive. And it's that decision that you are in charge, that you're responsible, that if you go to the mirror and you say, why am I not achieving my goals? Why am I not further ahead? As long as you're blaming somebody else, that might keep you comfortable. Keeps you comfortable, it means you don't have to do anything, right? You're not winning because your mom hit you. You're not winning because your dad never supported you, right? You're not winning because the school system sucks. As long as there's somebody else to blame, it's comforting. And everybody else around us are doing the same thing. Nobody's taking accountability. Everybody's saying it's somebody else's fault, right? Of course. It's not your fault that you're losing, because then you have to do something about it. And even if you're not losing, you're not hitting the goals as hard as you should. And it's so much easier to put the blame on somebody else and say, well, it's that person's fault. Where really, it's the person in the mirror. It's you, it's me. I am not further ahead in my business, on my YouTube channel, not because of the YouTube algorithm, not because my team didn't deliver the right video on time. Me, I'm the problem. It's my fault. It's my responsibility, right? I have to go fix it. I created this mess. It's not a mess, it's amazing, but I'm not at 10 million subscribers because of me. It's not that people don't want to watch the content and people don't want to be inspired. It's me. I need to get better. I need to improve. And even if it wasn't my fault, just taking that on gives you hope that you can change it. And as soon as you start putting, not even the blame. I think blame is not, I don't think blame helps. I don't care who to blame. I care how do we fix it, right? If there's a problem that happens in my business, it's not like who screwed up. I don't care who screwed up. I care what are we gonna do to make sure that we can get out of this hole and that it doesn't happen again the next time, right? Taking personal accountability for where you're at. If you have not hit your goals, this is good news. You can, but nobody's coming to save you. Nothing's gonna magically change around you. You're the change. You will make the change. You can go make it happen. If I wanna grow my business bigger, I need to accept that I need to grow bigger. Me, personally, Evan Carmichael. It is my fault, it is my responsibility. I am to blame. And use that as a kick forward to say, great. Like at the beginning, it may suck. Say, oh man, I've wasted how many weeks, months, years going down the wrong path, just casting blame on other people, realizing now it's my fault. Okay, well, what can you do about it? Now you can change it. Like at the start, the realization sucks, but then it's also the greatest thing of all time. If you're coming from under the rock and realize, oh my God, this is all my fault, that gives you the power to fix it. Because as long as you're relying on somebody else to do something and they don't show up, you can constantly blame them, but you're never growing, you're never accomplishing anything because you're waiting for them. You don't have to wait for anybody. It's just you. And you can fix it. You have the strength, you have the power, you're Michael Jordan, you have the abilities, you have the skill set, and if you don't have it yet, you can develop it, you can acquire it. Because your heroes did it, and you can too. So how do you do it? I'm gonna give you a 3-step process that I think will help. Step number 1 is accept responsibility for where you're at. Just say, I'm here because of me. Just accept the responsibility. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't say you've wasted however many years in the same spot, but this is your responsibility now. That where you're at right now is a result of everything that's happened to you and the choices, decisions that you have made. Even if other people have negatively impacted you in some way, it's still your responsibility now to fix it, that you can change it. Just accepting responsibility without the burden and the pain of feeling like you wasted a whole bunch of time, right? It's a clean slate. We're starting over. However old you are, great. You're starting fresh. And you get to create the next 2 decades of your life. How about we make it a masterpiece? Step number 2 is decide what needs to change. You want to make that masterpiece of a life happen? Awesome. What needs to change? Who do you need to become? What are the habits that you need to do? The people that you look up to, respect, admire, who've done what you want to do, who came from worse than where you came from, they've gone off and achieved. What did they do? What actions did they take? What skill sets did they learn? What mindset shifts did they need to make inside them? Who did they start hanging out with, right? All of those. What are the habits? What media did they consume? What books did they read? All of it. Understanding what you need to change allows you to create a roadmap. So you want to build that beautiful life, that amazing life? Amazing. What needs to change? Now, decide what needs to change. You may not even hate your life. That's even worse. If you don't hate your life, it's harder to make growth. If you absolutely hate your life, you say like, this sucks, I'm moving on, you've hit rock bottom, then it's actually very easy to grow. It's when things are just good. You don't hate your life, but it's good. It's good, right? Your life is good. You have internet, you have family, it's good. But you know you're capable of more. That's where you need to push. That's where you need to decide. Like, what does an amazing life look like? What does a masterpiece of a life look like for you? And write it out and look at it and get emotional. Like, I want that. That must happen. And if you're feeling that, then what has to change in you to go off and make that happen? Decide today. And step number 3 is map your actions to your ambitions. You say you want this. You say you want that masterpiece of a life. You say you want to be here. Great. What are you going to do every week? What are you going to do every day? Your calendar dictates who you are. Success is habits, not some final destination. So how can you map your actions of what you're doing in your calendar to your ambitions to become the person that you want to become and achieve what you want to achieve? So if you've decided, you've taken responsibility for where you're at in life, and it's your responsibility to fix it and change it. You've mapped out what a great life looks like for you. Great. Now break that down. Instead of thinking 10, 20 years out, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do this week? Pull out your calendar from Sunday to Sunday and map out where you're going to be spending your time. And then step above it and look at it and say, if I did these things for the week, if I did those things, will I move closer to building that life that I want? And if it's a yes, amazing, do it. And if it's no, then go fix it. Then all you have to do is get up every day and do the work.
If you want more confidence and motivation, please check out our 254 series. The link is in the description below.
So you have to really want to do it. If it's a bucket list thing that you have to do and you're deeply passionate about it, you have a message that you want to share, or this needs to come out, right? You need to give birth to this thing. It's that important to you. Then you should go out and do it.
1, pick the right things to work on, and then 2, focus on executing those things. Surround yourself with greatness. If you want to be more confident, you need to surround yourself with things that make you feel confident.
Rule number 2, unlock your talent.
You have Michael Jordan level talent at something, but instead of being world class at that thing, you settled for being just above average at something that you should not be doing. Albert Einstein once said, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will believe its whole life that it is stupid. That's most people's problems. You are a fish, and you're trying to climb a tree instead of going and being great at swimming. This is the exact problem that I am on a mission to solve. So I recently had a young entrepreneur come to one of my Toronto Q&A meetups that are free, that I host every week. And he said, Evan, I have a problem. I'm trying to decide between what my parents want me to be, which is an architect, and what I feel a yearning towards, which is being a musician. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to decide. I don't know how I'm going to be a success as a musician. I don't know how it's going to work out. And my parents want me to be an architect, and there's this clearly defined path for how to do it. And he's afraid. And I think that's so many people. There's this safe, perfect path that has been designed that people have done forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Or there's this new, crazy, messy, unrealistic, unsafe, unsure path, which is following your passion, being an entrepreneur, and trying to figure out where you're supposed to go. Here's the thing. If you only go down that safe path, if you only take that job, if you only listen to your parents or other people and you do what they want you to do, you're always going to be unhappy. You're always going to know that there was this thing inside you that you could have done, that you didn't take action on, and you hate it. It's never been easier to actually be yourself and build a business and have success being uniquely you, right? This was not open to your parents and definitely not your grandparents. The ability to be an entrepreneur on the side, making money using your phone, is something that your grandparents don't understand. It's totally wild. And so you are a unique individual, right? You are, I am, we all are. You have unique interests, personality traits, belief systems. You're unique. You need to do something unique. If you are unique, you need to do something unique. If you're stuck doing the same thing that somebody else wants you to do, you're never going to be happy. Now, there may be some alignment. You may not absolutely hate the job that you're at, but you know you're capable of more. You're Michael Jordan. You are the Michael Jordan of something. You're a genius, an absolute bona fide genius at something. This is why I think it's the world's greatest problem. This is why I do what I do every single day in making this content and videos for you, because I want to unlock people, hopefully more than one at a time, but even if it's just one person who watches this video and gets unlocked, I'm pumped. Because I think if everybody is off doing the thing that they are a genius at, man, I want to live in that world.
Rule number 3, model success.
The fastest way to learn anything is to model someone who has done it before you. You don't need to have all the answers yourself. You don't need to have decades of experience to win. If you want to shortcut your path and stop wasting time, you need to learn to model success. So I recently came back from speaking in Phoenix. I was at an event with Brendan Burchard and Dee Graziosi and Eric Thomas and a bunch of amazing speakers. And I have a lot of experience in speaking. I've been listed by Forbes and Inc. magazine as one of the greatest speakers in the world, super humbling award, but I still want to get better. I still want to learn. I still want to improve. And so before getting on stage, I was talking to Brendan Burchard backstage and he said, hey, I'm going to watch your speech. I'm going to finish my interview here and I want to make sure that I watch your speech. And so I get on stage and it's tons of fun. I come back out and Brendan is running down the aisle and he's got his hands up and he's super excited and he said, that was amazing. And he's telling me about how great the speech was and how much I helped his audience and thanking me. And I said, amazing, thank you so much, appreciate you. Let me ask you, how do I make it better? You've done a lot of these, you've done more than I have. You're filling out, huge rooms full of people. How can I get better? I want to model success. I want to learn from somebody who's done more than me. And chances are something great's going to come back, right? Like, tell me I suck, Brendan. Tell me I suck. How do I improve? And he gave me a bunch of great feedback. He said, one, I need to use the stage more. So I was walking kind of like this. I was walking around like this and at a slow pace because I think as I'm going. But he said, no, you need to walk faster. You need to walk faster like this and always facing the audience. And there's this giant stage that I was speaking at. And he said, you got to make sure you hit both sides of the stage at least 4 times. If you're speaking for an hour, you got to hit both sides of the stage at least 4 times because, Evan, what you did really well was you kept the people's focus who are really in front of you in this circle, but the people who are out there, they didn't connect with you as much. Great, awesome feedback. I got to take that home and improve. He also said to be bigger and more animated. And this also makes sense from my salsa background. When you're doing performance on stage, you need to make everything big. Because the people who are up front can see you, but the people who are at the back, they can't see the expressions, they can't see the movement, so it's got to be bigger than you would normally do it. And so even though I knew that lesson from a different set of experiences in salsa dancing, I hadn't applied it yet to my speaking. And so it was great. It was great learning experience. And if I didn't ask Brendan, hey, what can you teach me? How could I do better? The worst case scenario is he says, there's nothing, it was perfect. Great. I want to know how I can improve though, right? And he gave me 2 pieces of advice that now I could take into my next speaking gig to make it even better, right? That's the idea of modeling success. You find people who've done it before, who are better than you at least one certain thing, and ask them, how did they do it? And ask them to critique you and break you down, because through that, you will shortcut your path to getting there faster.
Now I've got a very special bonus clip on trigger yourself for success that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's the question of the day. What is the #1 goal that you need to chase down this week? And if you made it this far in the video and you promise to take action after watching, we don't just watch video, we do something. I want to celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe in the comment below.
The trick to getting yourself into action mode is to trigger yourself for success. Triggering yourself for success means you've taken the decision making out of it, that as soon as you come up with an idea, you have trained yourself by default into action mode. You see, your brain will always talk you down from things because it's trying to keep you safe, and it only understands a world that currently exists that is logical and practical. Until you learn to trigger yourself for success, you will constantly doubt your thoughts, your ideas, and your actions. This video is gonna help. So today, I wanna talk about this bag right here. A lot of you leave comments, the newer fans of the channel say, why is Doritos sponsoring your videos? Evan, why don't you have a healthier sponsor? Don't you know what bad Doritos does to your body? You should be promoting healthy living. Doritos is not a sponsor, guys. This is triggering me for success every single day. And this isn't just some tiny bag. It looks small looking back here, but let me bring this up. Look at that. This is right next to my face. Look at how big that bag of Doritos is. I have a strategy, and it's a weird strategy, so maybe you'll love it, maybe you won't, but I have a strategy called Damn the Doritos. I look at this bag. So I'm sitting, this is how I'm working, right? I'm not sitting, I'm standing. I'm standing on a trampoline. This is my workspace right now, right? I'm standing here, I'm working. In the corner of my eye, I got Steve Jobs up here, and I got this giant bag of Doritos. All I want to do is eat this bag all day long. I want to destroy this bag of Doritos. Look at that giant chip. Oh, I'm going to start drooling soon. I love it. I want to eat that all day long. This bag is here as a reminder of how great I am. This is the mental conversation inside my head. Evan, you're awesome. You're awesome for not eating those Doritos every day. And I want it as a reminder. People say, doesn't it take a lot of willpower? No, it builds, for me at least, builds the willpower, builds my strength. Every time I see that bag of Doritos, makes me feel better about myself, that I'm not eating it and I have the strength to keep going. And so why I have that here is when you're on a diet, right? This is how it began. When you're on a diet, your friends, your family, the experts will say, get rid of all the junk food from your house, get rid of it all, because otherwise you'll be tempted and then you're gonna eat it and then you're gonna ruin your diet. I think that is actually teaching yourself that you suck. You're teaching yourself, I'm a weird duck, you're teaching yourself that you are not strong enough to be around the thing, and so I need to get it out of my environment. The only way that I can stick to this thing is if this other stuff is nowhere close to me. I think you're telling yourself that you suck. I think it's a big crutch. And just like when you break your leg, you have a crutch, your ultimate goal is to not have a crutch. It's to walk, it's to run, it's to be stronger than before, right? And so as a step one, maybe it's good, right? As a step one, okay, fine. You broke your leg, you have a crutch. You wanna get on a diet, you're addicted to junk food, get out of the house, awesome. But as soon as you go on vacation, as soon as you go to an office party, as soon as you go to New Year's, any kind of party, you're gonna destroy the food because you've trained yourself every day that you suck, that you're not capable. I think you're a genius. I think you're stronger than you think. And so I tested it first with myself and I thought, you know what? Doritos are my nemesis, right? I love Doritos. Oh my gosh, just looking at that bag. So I went to Costco and bought the giant size bag of Doritos. I said, I'm gonna put this on my desk all day long. Because damn the Doritos, because the Doritos are stronger than me? I don't think so, right? I'm Evan Carmichael. And same thing for you. That thing that is holding you, that's stronger than you? I don't think so. Remember who you are. Remember how strong you are. And that's what this is here for. And it's been awesome to see people now take this up. A friend of the channel, Liron, was trying to get off of sugar. and he has this coffee cup with a saucer, and he drinks his morning coffee, and he put 2 packets of sugar on the saucer right next to the coffee. So he pours his coffee, has the sugar right next to it, and he just starts drinking it and puts it down and looks at the sugar packs, and then just drinks the coffee again and puts it down, looks at the sugar packs, and his wife thinks he's crazy. And he's a little crazy too. You gotta be a little bit weird duck, but I think this is actually how you build your strength. Mark Drager, another friend of the channel, is addicted to the Peak Freens cookies. You know, the ones that have the red on the inside and the cream in the middle. Those are among my favorites too. And so his COO, when he heard this, went out and bought all these boxes of Peak Freens and put it on Mark's desk. And he opened it up, and this is one of my favorite things to do. Whenever I'm around Doritos or something I really love to eat, not just say, oh, put that away from me, don't be around me, I can't have that. And not just look at it, I wanna smell it. So Mark took these cookies, brought it right up here, Peak Freen cookies, right up here. Oh, and you can just see the joy on his face, just as he's bringing back memories and just what those cookies are gonna taste like when they enter his stomach, and just goodness everywhere, right? The smile on his face, maybe a little bit of drool coming out, you just, and then put the cookies down and walk away. And how great that makes you feel as a human to say, here's one of my biggest weaknesses of all time. Bring it. I own you. Put it down and walk away, right? I think that's how you actually build strength, by doing those difficult things, by triggering yourself for success. Every time I see the Doritos bag, I feel better about myself, I feel stronger about myself, and I want you to do the same thing. If any of you are gonna take on that kind of challenge, I wanna hear you, I wanna follow you, I wanna see how your journey is going, because it can be one of the biggest, most important life-changing decisions that you embark on.
If you want to learn how to change your fixed mindset, check out the video next to me. I think you're gonna enjoy. I will see you there. Continue to believe.